Hey guys, welcome to Basically Physio, and we are going to talk about walking speed for older adults today. We are going to cover the importance of walking speed, what it can predict, meaning the speed, and how you can measure the gait speed as a patient or as a therapist. So why is walking speed so important for older adults? In fact, multiple researchers and research papers have mentioned that walking speed is a vital sign, meaning the importance of it is equivalent to measuring your blood pressure or your heart rate. And also, this walking speed is able to predict multiple factors, which I will elaborate in a while. The speed at which you walk as an older adult is able to tell multiple information. For example, if you are walking at a certain speed, maybe 1.2 meters a second, it can tell you whether you are safe to walk inside the community or just inside your house. And this has various implications because as a slow walker, meaning if you are able to walk only at 0.6 meters per second, you are definitely not safe to walk in the community, which may predispose you to multiple falls. The next thing that it can predict is the risk of falls, as I just mentioned. Next thing is the cognitive decline. If you are walking slower, you are much more prone to having a cognitive decline or already facing some cognitive issues. And next thing that it can predict is the risk of institutionalization or hospitalization. And this is also linked to being a slow walker. Additionally, the slow walking speed or fast walking speed can also predict your survivability and life expectancy, and it is also an indicator of frailty as an older adult. And I'm going to show you a graph from a paper, and this graph simplifies what speed is going to lead to what type of events in the future for you. So this is the graph here that I was talking about, and I would suggest that you pause the video to appreciate the values and what type of events it leads to. I will also link down this paper in the description below for you to have a better look at it. This table here that I have compiled is just a summary of the graph that I have shown. So from the table here, you can see that the slower you walk, the higher your likelihood of being more dependent for self-care and being more frail. And the higher speed that you walk at, for example 1.0 meter per second and above, you are actually walking in the community, and your risk of hospitalization or adverse events happening is much lower, and also you'll be more independent in your self-care. So how can you actually administer a test to find out your own walking speed? You can do the 4 meter walking speed test or the 10 meter walking speed test. Both of these have been researched quite a lot, and you can do either one depending on the space that you have and your comfort tolerance. So before you start the test, it will be good for you to find a straight pathway that you can walk without any barriers or obstacles. And once you have identified such a pathway, the next thing you need is a stopwatch, either on your phone or on your watch. Once you have identified this and you have a stopwatch, then the next thing to do is actually to mark out some areas by the diagram that I've shown here. So if you look at the diagram, there is 2 meters at the start and 2 meters at the end of the 4 meter or 10 meter walkway, and this is for the acceleration phase and the deceleration phase. If you do not have space, then you can omit the deceleration, but it is good to have the acceleration phase. So to take the test, simply walk straight and begin the timer at the end of the acceleration phase and stop the timer at the 4 meter or 10 meter mark. So for the test, do take note that you can use a walking aid if you want to, and you can just walk at your normal comfortable walking speed and do not need to rush through this. Next thing is, if you don't find that you are confident to do this test, it is good for you to get someone to do it for you, meaning someone to walk beside you so that when you are walking you do not have the fear of falling, and they can also provide some physical assistance to you if required. To get your walking speed, use this formula as shown here, and you will actually find out what is your speed of walking. If you want to be more accurate, you can do the test 3 times and take the average of the speed. So if you have gotten a score of more than 1.0, then you are quite safe. But if you have gotten a score of less than 1.0, there may be many reasons why your walking speed is getting slower. And the best way to find out is actually to visit a doctor or a physiotherapist and work with them. However, since you are watching this video and if you are looking for some tips, I have some tips. So if you are walking slow and you find that one of the reasons is because you are feeling weak, then this set of advice may be applicable for you. But before we begin, it is good for you to, in fact, it is recommended that you should get a referral to a physiotherapist to see them so that they can have a holistic assessment for you. So some tips includes just simple strengthening exercise that you can do at home. The exercises are shown here. First is sit to stands 10 times 3 sets a day. Next is standing calf raises 10 times 3 sets a day. Lastly, it is just walk as much as you can, as safely as you can, and as much as you can tolerate for that day. Coming to the end of the video, I hope that this has shed some light on the importance of walking speed as an older adult for you. And before you follow any of these tips here, I highly recommend, in fact you should get a referral to a physiotherapist to see and get their recommendations first. And lastly, thank you for watching all the way till the end, and if you could just like and subscribe to the channel, that would mean a lot to me. Thank you and see you in the next one.